All right, so this is the key to agent development. Now, this topic is very near and dear to my heart. I've been a team leader, sales team owner, whatever you want to call it, for the better half of, about 6 years. And so I have recruited, I have helped get hundreds, and if not thousands at this point, of agents into production, and have spent the last 5-6 years talking to agents all across the country every single day. And here's what I've learned about agent development. And now, if you're a team leader or you're someone who's thinking about starting a team, this is going to be very valuable for you, okay? And if you're an agent and you're just an individual agent on your own, this is going to be a great way for you to audit your performance as a real estate agent and really understand what it is you need, okay? And so I'm going to break it up like this. Agent development is comprised of 3 different parts. Number 1 is training. Number 2 is doing. And number 3 is coaching. Now, they're broken up accordingly. I would say training is about 30%, doing is about 50%, and coaching is about 20%. So let me give you an example. An agent that may be on my team and not having a lot of success, right? Maybe they've been on with the team for 90 days or so, and they just haven't really gotten any real traction. They don't have any pending transactions, new listings, and they're kind of down in the dumps. So I would tell them, hey, let's have a conversation. And before I even get into the what you should be doing and all the other things that I want to tell them, first things I ask is, okay, I tell them the exact thing I just told you. Training, doing, coaching. Training, scale of 1 to 10. 1 being absolutely none, 10 being you do every single training, you're on every single call, you follow our daily activities perfectly, you script practice, you role play, you do everything you're supposed to do from a training component, what we offer. That's a 10. Where do you lie today? And the answer, more times than not, is below a 6. It's 6 or below. And then I say, okay, great. Well, we know we need to talk about that. All right, so what about the doing component? So for example, on our team, we require agents to do 100 dials, 100 calls per day. We require them to input 5 new contacts in their CRM and set 1 appointment. Now, does it happen every single day, 365 days a year? No, but that's the standard. That's what we shoot for. So I asked them the same thing. Okay, great. Out of the doing component, you know we're supposed to do 1 open house a week, 100 calls a day, 5 new contacts, 1 appointment. In terms of the doing side, where are you at? 1 being you haven't done anything, and 10 being you've hit it every single day for the last 3 months. And more times than not, the answer is below a 6. Oh, and by the way, a trick anytime you're asking 1 through 10, I always say you can't use 7. So I go scale 1 to 10 and you can't use 7. So it's either going to be a 6 or it's going to be an 8. And so the point of me telling you this is that before I even get into the coaching component, which I told you was 20% of agent development, first we need to address the training and the doing, because here's what happens and why most team leaders end up hating being a team leader and making less money is because the agent they're trying to coach is not training and is not doing. So what we try to do as team leaders is overcompensate and take our coaching from 20% to 50%. We try to outcoach the lack of training and the lack of doing. But the reason that's a problem is because if an agent isn't training, there's just too much of an information gap of things they just haven't heard yet. And then if they're not doing, there's an experience gap. They just don't have enough real world experience doing it in real life. Your coaching is not going to change either one of those. So what happens is a team leader will try to coach an agent into doing and training. They end up extending themselves to 30, 50, 60, 70% of that agent's life becomes coaching from the team leader, but they're still not training and doing. And what happens in that scenario is it never works out. So the reason I'm saying all this is because depending on where you're at in the business, that is where, in my opinion, agent development works best. So coaching, now let me take it to that side of the conversation. Let's just say the agent, and I've had this happen, this absolutely has happened, where an agent is training, is doing, Then coaching, I tell them straight up, hey, that's on me. If you are at an 8 or above in training and doing every day and you're not having results, that's 110% on me, because I still need to fulfill my 20% obligation of coaching. Now, the reason why this is such a time saver for team leaders and people who are in management roles of agents is because training and doing doesn't require the team leader's time, right? Or individual time, I should say. So we have training calls, we have webinars, we have script practice, role play, we have all these things every day. I don't need to be there individually with every agent for them to train. They can train on their own, right? And then doing, I can't be there and make the calls with you. I can do it a couple times, but I don't need to be there all the time. And so what this does is it establishes a level of self-sufficientness from the agent component. So if you're a team leader and your agent can't train and can't do on their own, you got to cut them. This is a commission-only business, and you have to be a self-starter and you have to be self-sufficient. So if you're a real estate agent, I'd be thinking about that. Hey, in terms of training, am I leveraging all of my team's training? Really, am I leveraging it? Am I leveraging my brokerage's training? Am I really taking full advantage, leaving no stone unturned when it comes to making sure I'm educated? Then do I have a clear playbook at what to do every day? Am I following my team's daily protocol, right? And if you're not on a team, are you reaching out to someone? Find a sales coach, talk to someone at your brokerage who can give you something that daily activities to do. Are you doing those? Are you truly doing them every single day? And then coaching. Do you have someone who, whether you pay on a team through your brokerage, for online coaches, do you have someone who's coaching you and helping you fill in the gaps, right? I always use the analogy about when I was a little kid, my dad would say, hey, Dad, can you help me with my homework? He'd say, absolutely. Go do your homework to the best of your ability, and whatever you sit there for an hour and can't figure out on your own, bring me those and we're going to go over those. So same thing, if you're training and doing, figure out where your holes are so then you can go to your coaches with specific problems. Instead of going to coaches with, I don't know, I'm just not getting any traction. Like, I've heard that 1,000 times. That's bullshit. You're just not training and you're not doing, because you would be getting traction and you would know exactly what issues you're having, and that I can coach to. But what I cannot coach to is laziness. I cannot coach to people who are not self-sufficient, and I cannot coach people who don't want to do the work. So I hope that gives you a very, very clear, easy way to identify agents and help team leaders be more efficient with their time. Agent development, again, is comprised and broken up into 3 categories: training, doing, and coaching. Training 30%, 50% doing, and 20% coaching. That is what we stick to. That is what I've learned over working with hundreds and thousands of agents in my own organization and within the brokerages I've been a part of. And that is what I'm sticking to. And let me tell you, it absolutely works. So if you're a team leader and you have any questions about this, or you're someone who wants to start a team, feel free to reach out to me, drop something in the comments. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Hope that helps.